Well, we can't talk about the King's 2025 without talking about the Queen. So in this video, we're going to be talking about Queen Camilla. We'll be right back. Welcome, subscribers, old and new, and members, and everybody else who's jumping in here. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner for over 35 years. And in this video, we're going to talk about Queen Camilla's 2025. I get a lot of requests for royal looks and psychic readings. So this isn't a surprise. I love England, Scotland, Wales. I have never been to Ireland, but I'm sure I would love that too. And I do love me a royal family. If you're a new subscriber, I am a history buff. I was a history minor when I was at university, and I focused on pre and post-revolutionary Russian literature, writing, and culture. So I do like an imperial family as well. And the British royal family, while related to the Russian royal family, is one of the showiest, most amazing royal families that we still have. So let's talk a little bit about Charles' reading. Charles' reading did look a little bit interesting to me. I do see some signs that we may be looking at a stepping back, an abdication, or retirement as I think they look at it. Last year, when Queen Margrethe had abdicated her throne, I did a reading on her, and I did see that Charles and Camilla were kind of going, maybe this is a fit for us. Maybe we could do this. One of the benefits of that is that you do get to see your child step into your role and succeed, hopefully, and you can still be there to advise them. So I do think it is a warm idea for King Charles in the event that he physically can't do the job anymore. But let's see what's going on, Camilla. Again, I have done historic readings on Camilla, and I've always said that there is, I know she has a back issue, but I do think that there is a blood issue as well. So like a slow growing leukemia or something like that. There's something going on in her blood as well. So let's take a look and see how her year is going to be. Before I do that, please like, share, and subscribe. And again, everybody who's new here, thank you so much. I'm really excited to have all the new subscribers. I hope you really like the content. So let's bring up that card view. I hope all of you had a great New Year's Day. I am still very sleepy and trying to figure out how I'm going to con my family into cleaning my house while I stay down here and work. So how I do these readings, I do them in quarters of the year, Q1, Q2, Q3, and we'll talk about 3 buckets of our subject's life. So we're going to do the same as Charles. We're going to do personal, professional, and we'll do health for Camilla because I think it's important. Having a back injury myself, it can be super debilitating, and I give her a lot of grace for that. Used to not believe in back pain, and now I do, that I have a herniated disc. So personal, she is looking at some disappointments. What is that? Main thing on her head is where their family is going to go. Now, they do have a blended family. You have to keep in mind, Camilla has her own children. She has stepchildren, obviously, with King Charles, and she has a whole family of in-laws. So you know, they can get kind of dicey and kind of crazy in families like that. I have a fairly large family myself. My husband does too. And blending those all together, you know, we figured out when we were getting married that 200 was going to be the guest list, whether we liked it or not, with all the family members that we have. So sometimes you get into those situations. So that's what big backyards are for. But I do think that there is a discussion about what is going to happen, what is best for them as a couple, as a family, what is going to be best for them in terms of the assignment with work. We're going to get to that next. We have 2 different ways we can go. That is curious because we do have this Emperor in reverse. We're keeping this quiet. This is our conscious thought. This is our kind of subconscious, what we're kind of keeping under the table between us maybe. So I think the the instability of his physical body is something that they are keeping very close to the chest. It is disappointing news. Again, this is Q1 that we're talking about. In Q1, we're still discussing possible ways that we can go in different directions. What's the main thing? Who are the players that are going to be best for this? Who are the players that we can invest our energy and our advice into that are going to utilize it and flourish in the future to the benefit of the whole family? They're really making those decisions about who is on the team and who's off the team. A lot of sadness and difficulty about that, but she does understand the assignment here. Camilla, I think, has been a very good sport. And I hate to say good sport like that because it does sound kind of snarky, but I think she's been a very good sport about the ill treatment that she had in the press, albeit whatever her behavior was with King Charles while he was married to Diana, Princess of Wales, Diana, Princess of Wales. You know, I do think she's very high-minded about this, and I think she's looking at it from a very practical perspective. I think Camilla is a very practical person in general, very level-headed person in general. I don't think that she is vapid or greedy or anything like that. Now, here's our health card. Let's flip that over. The health card, we have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, and we're walking away from some things. And I think this is not necessarily, like, I don't want anyone to think I'm saying palliative treatment or anything like that, but I think we are getting into a situation where the treatment is outpacing the success of that treatment. So she may be dialing back some of the treatments that she's doing, maybe some of the medications that she's taking that have effects that aren't really desired. So let's see what Q2 holds for her. Q2. That 7 of Swords is always a little bit troubling. That's something that sneaks in on us, and we didn't expect it there. So maybe one of her medications is causing an imbalance or a slowing down of one of her functions or features. So we may be seeing that. What was that? Something stuck to me. Sorry, guys. So personal, professional, health-wise, personal. She's got a lot of patience, working on that patience and that strength. So one of the things that I do, I teach tarot as well. I teach tarot and other types of psychic ability and cartomancy, all kinds of cool stuff. And I tell my students that we always have to look at this as the iron fist in the iron fist in the velvet glove. But I also think that a better description is pressing coal into diamond. We have to do this for long term. We have to play the long game because there are cataclysms that are happening around them. So personally, she does see these cataclysms, I think, a little bit more clearly than Charles sees them because he's far too invested. Her take on this is we need to run as quickly as we can from the troubling factors in our family. I think we all know who that is. So moving away from the people that are speaking negatively, not feeding that bonfire that they have of PR, I think is really Camilla's order of the day. What are we talking about professionally? Professionally, it's justice. Justice is as justice is served. She wants her husband to get angry. She wants him to take care of that Page of Pentacles and the bastardization of the memory of his ex-wife. I'm just going to say it there. This is the bastardization of Diana, Princess of Wales. And this is someone who is forging their identity on the bastardization of her legacy. So Camilla wants him to step in there, not for her own selfish purposes, because she actually feels bad for Diana at this point. Keep in mind, they did know each other socially, Diana, Princess of Wales, and Queen Camilla. They did run in some of the same circles. So I think giving her a little grace, especially since this is someone who's passed away, she is giving some grace. Health in that second quarter is a little bit chaotic. We see a couple of things going on. That may be the removal of the medication and starting some new processes. I think they're going to say that they are going to abandon some treatments that she's doing and working together with another doctor to work better. That Five of Swords in reverse is a bit of chaos, a bit of hotness there. So we want to see that cool down before it gets too crazy. So let's see Q3. Now Q3, if you go back and you look at Harry Goes Home video, I just did that. I just dropped that today, New Year's Day. And the King Charles Q3, I think, was a little curious as well. Let's see what Camilla's Q3 is like. What is sticking to me? Sorry, guys. I have stuff sticking to me. Personal. Professional. Health-wise. Personal. Getting away from the focus on the bad guys, the baddies, let's say the baddies. So this is ignoring the troublemaker, looking away, and what is on our mind. Oh, unfortunately, it's like a bad penny. It just keeps turning up. Everyone wants to just pop a balloon in this. It's not a scapegoat. This is a malignant entity in the family who shows up and sits down at the dinner table and starts to eat a meal and goes, "You are the worst parent ever. You are the worst this. You are the worst that." It's never just come and have Christmas, just come and have dinner. It's always this drama of negativity. It's a never-ending barrage. This Eight of Wands is a never-ending barrage of information. Well, you did this. Well, you did this. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Can we just get on with the mashed potatoes? No, because you also did this and you also did this. It's a really terrible spiraling cycle of argument and reimagining and misremembering the way things were. So professionally, Q2, we're looking at being somewhat unprotected. There is some information that's going to be coming out that is a little bit disruptive to Camilla. So in Q2, I think we start to hear some negative PR directed at her. Unfairly directed at her. I'm going to say that. I think she is going to be the target du jour. I want to say that there's almost a strategy to attack an individual family member one at a time and kind of take down the whole, like the whole David and Goliath thing. You're going to knock down the little ones. David and Goliath really wasn't a good example of this because Goliath was just one. But this is a kind of like, think about Angry Birds when you're playing Angry Birds and you have to knock out those supports underneath. That's kind of what this is. Let's knock out the supports. Let's illustrate each and every family member as terrible, wicked, rotten, not nice, not taking care of business, not looking after everyone in the family, sacrificing some and elevating others. This is, I think, a strategy that we're going to see more and more the more angry certain parties get. Health-wise, what do we have here? Health-wise, we have no more sleeping, no more resting. What is on our mind? Coming up with some non-traditional methods. I don't think she is going to be able to, I think she's looking for a better cooperative doctor, another interesting professional that she brings into her medical situation. But I think she's going to have some trouble finding one. I think she will have difficulty finding one that is a really good fit. This, I am getting intuitively that they're going to be going very much so in the direction of Eastern medicine. They're going to start to pull back from the causticness of Western medicine and the way that things are treated. So I think going to a more full body approach, dietary approach, I'm sure they're doing it already because Charles is King Charles, His Majesty, is so interested in organic farming and organic foods and the whole purity of things. I think she is going to start to incorporate maybe some Chinese medicine, Eastern medicines, those kinds of things, maybe an Ayurvedic diet or something. So I think we're having some trouble finding a practitioner that she really likes, though. I do sense that there is a woman that will be extremely helpful. And I do think that she's like an Eastern medicine doctor, probably of Asian Indian descent. So I have that for you. So let's see what Q4 is going to be like. We're a year from now. A year from now. Personal, professional, health-wise, personal. Oh, she's being unburdened and able to take a bit of a rest. She doesn't want to take a rest, but she's going to be taking a little bit of a rest from this situation overtly. Covertly, she is going to be working under, I don't want to say under the covers, behind the scenes. She's going to be working behind the scenes. So the conversation of you must clean up this family, you must make this family much more whole and wholesome, that conversation is going to change to a more subtle tactic. Getting this idea across, I hate to say the cutting off of a family member, but it really is in their best interest to go no contact with him. That means no funds, nothing. Here's your bag of money. Take it and go forth and be happy. Hopefully be happy. So professionally, I think we are going, I think we're going to see. Now, I've had many of my British followers say, you cannot sue the crown. You can't. But I do think that there will be an attempt to have some kind of legal action, trying to extract some kind of money from King Charles. It would be, something to the effect of, I want my inheritance now, or something like that. There's going to be some kind of action that they are going to take. This looks like the beginning of it. This looks like Camilla is going to be aware of this a bit more acutely than Charles will be. I think she's going to say, hey, I think they're coming after you personally. They're trying to get money for whomever. I do think it may be for the children. They may have some kind of storyline where they're going after some funds for the children in order to support them, to take care of them, yada, yada, yada. So I'm seeing some kind of litigation here. And over here, Knight of Pentacles, it looks like our health is taking a hit, but I hate to say this, like she's living her best life. She, her attitude is, lived long enough. Like, I'm going to eat the red meat and I'm going to have a gin and tonic. Like, just try and stop me. So I do think that those things that she's doing that are very comforting and nurturing are affecting her poorly. There's something about the belly. The belly is very raw by the end of next year. Excuse me. So sorry. I'm not bored. I hope you're not bored. I hope you're enjoying this reading. But there's something about the belly that is very sore. I think they are going to try and push her more toward like an Ayurvedic diet or something like that. So all in all, looks like an up and down year for Camilla. She's doing her wifely duty. She's trying to guide her husband as best she can. Let's see. What is her best advice, her best year? Oh, oh, Camilla. So she is very distraught about the way everything is affecting her husband. And that is this King of Cups that we see in reverse. This is under the surface. This is the the feelings, the personality, the efforts that she is stuffing down so that she doesn't have to reveal them. And up here, this is what she's going to be acting on. This is what people are going to see. Having that Seven of Swords, I think she's going to be doing some crafty things behind the scenes. The Prince of the Page of Pentacles, everything's in reverse. Five of Swords, World in reverse, Judgment in reverse, Ace of Wands in reverse. So what does she need to do to have the most successful year? Well, she needs to act a little bit surreptitiously. This gentleman, she needs to really not engage. She needs to let the fight be done, let the fight be one-sided. It will not end. So coming to that determination, that truth, if you will, that this is going to be an onslaught forever. They're always going to have to deal with these two. If they cut them off, if they don't cut them off, what is the best course of action? Are they going to flare up? What else can they say at this point? So here, knowing that it won't end and that they just have to respond and be reactive accordingly to spare themselves the negative judgment and not to start any storms in the meantime. So even though her inclination is going to be to do things behind the scenes, I do think that she needs to not start any fights in the immediate. I think she needs to really dial that back. You are not going to influence Charles by yelling, advising him that he needs to pay attention. He needs to do something a little bit differently. You know, it is a more subtle approach to convince him. So I do think it's going to be a strange year for the both of them. I think that if they do not fully abdicate by the end of the year, I think it will be a regular conversation about how that is going to take place. It will be planning to do it in early 2026. So I hope you like that. I hope you're not upset by that. I don't think that this is a bad thing. I think, you know, if you're not well and you need to take some time for yourself and you have a capable son who has been raised in the tradition and is able to serve in your stead, I think stepping aside and being there is good counsel. Charles can lean very heavily into his gardening. I think he plays Pink Floyd for his crops. I read that someplace, so good taste in music. I think living the rest of your days as a gentleman farmer, former king, is a great idea. It was one of the things that Tsar Nicholas II wanted to do. He wanted to just be a gentleman. He was a good family man. And during the revolution in Russia, he wanted to just be exiled to a beautiful estate where he could just garden and farm and take care of his family. Sadly, that did not happen. So perhaps Charles will be able to live out that dream of fair Nicky. Or Nicholas the Bloody, depending on which side of the opinions you fall on. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're having a great New Year's Day. I hope you're with your feet up and you have a nice hot cup of cocoa or something like that. So I will see you in the future. Thanks so much.